Developers, we're back to talk more about if statements and if statements and logical operators. So in the flow control folder, we're going to the logical operators. And so the logical operators, let's just get our environment set up and move that over to the left and open this up with live server. So I have two objects here just to give us something to build off some logic. And I'm going to start by writing an if statement that says if my friend one, that first name, if the first name is going to be Alex, then I am going to console log. In fact, again, I'm going to go back to string interpolation with the string interpolation, always very helpful. I know this person, and it's going to be friend one dot first name, right? Semicolon at the end. And this is going to console log. Ooh, let me make sure I have my developer tools open. Control-Shift-I. Oh, what happened there? Task Manager. Task Manager, go away. Control-Shift-I, inspect from my console. And we're going to see that in the console we have a nice little message. I know this Alex. Naturally, I don't know every Alex, so I just can't randomly console that log out. I want to make sure that I want to add another condition. If friend dot last name, if friend one dot last name is equal to Smith, that's the Alex. I know an Alex Smith. So we're going to log that out. But naturally, so if it's, look, I made a mistake. It's not one equals, my friends. It's not my one equals. Look, I actually, by doing this assignment, I actually assigned Smith here. It's supposed to be Rod for A-Rod. And so this, I meant to have 3 equals. And now I'm going to hit save, and I want to know that this is Alex, doesn't get logged. So naturally, I'm going to put an else statement in here and say a different message. I want to say, I do not know this Alex. And so here comes that message that says, I do not know this Alex. So if we look at this, if, and inside the if, there's another if. If I wanted to add another condition, if I continue to have this pattern, you're going to see that things are going to get a little complicated. Maybe, what would I do here is that if would I end up doing something like putting an if inside an if and inside an if, that's going to get ugly. It might work. In fact, it absolutely would work, but it gets ugly. So I don't want to do this. I want to do something a little bit more elegant. And what I want to do on the first line is I actually want to bring this condition up to the first line, and I want to include it. So I'm going to cut it from here, and I want to include it as a part of this expression. So in English, what I want to say is if this person's first name is Alex, and in English, and the last name is Smith, then that's the actual Smith that I want to know. So I'm going to take the else, I'm going to move it down here. Let me get rid of this other code. And we're going to see that this is still erroring because that's English. So that's a little bit of pseudocode. I don't mean that to be and. Programmatically, and, the logical and, is going to be the double ampersand. So what this is going to evaluate, it's going to say if the first person's name is Alex and their last name is Smith, that means that yes, I happen to know this Alex. Otherwise, I don't know this Alex, right? So both of these operations yield the correct expected output. Here they are on the right hand side. One is definitely much more elegant than the other, and so we're gonna make it as a preference to do something like this, and you might even want to stack them. Okay, so that's the and. And now this can go. I can have as many as these as I like. I can say and the age, because maybe I want to be more specific, because after all, there's many Alex Smiths out there. And the age is equal to, oh, and this is a number. Let's go with 30. And so now all of these three conditions, if the first name is Alex and the last name is Smith and their age is 30, that means I know this Alex. Otherwise, come in here. Okay? Otherwise, come in here. So let's leave this here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to comment it out, Control/. And let's change this up. Maybe I don't want to be so strict. Maybe I want to say, and let's even get rid of this. If your first name is Alex or the last name is Smith, then I'm going to change this to say, I might know this Alex. And because the first name matches this, right? Because simply this one is true, because this is true, it doesn't even bother checking Smith. Because the or statement is different than the and. The and, all of the conditions need to be true. So in the or scenario, as soon as it finds a valid expression, it's going to go in and it's going to evaluate the code block. Because the first name is Alex, and we can see that here, and we can see that here, it will not bother checking any other expression. It will not. So let's do this again. Let's just show. Let's put this back to an and. Now we're going to say if it's Alex Smith, right? I know this Alex, right? But he's not Smith, so I'm going to make this go into true. So now if it's Alex and the name is Smith, I might know them, right? But also then I want to then say, now here's where it's going to get a little complicated, because I'm going to now throw in an or. I'm going to throw or in here first. So now, if this is Alex, or if the last name is Smith, and then here comes another complication, or for some reason, I'm just going to say if friend.first name that starts with a rather, because we're dealing with Alex, then we're going to know that, hey, yeah, I might know this Alex, right? Because Alex and Smith. So let me change this now back to Rod. I'm going to change this back to, I'm going to make this Alexander. So the first name is not Alex, or the last name is Smith. It's not Smith. But because the first name starts with the letter A, it's going to fall into this code block. I know this Alex. And so again, where the complication is I want you to see this. This is false. Because this is or. It will bother to check this or expression. It will bother to check the expression associated with the other or. And it's going to do so until it runs out of expressions. As soon as it finds one of these values, it will go in and evaluate and run the code block. So that's using the ors, and we can mix and match them. So now I'm going to say and. So it's got to be Alex Smith. And then let's just say, let's make an expression here, or the age is equal to 30. So let's see what happens. I know this Alex, right? So I know this Alex because the first name and the last name match. But what if I changed it? What if I just changed the first name? Oh, this is still happening. Now, this is still happening because even though this clause here yielded false, because I have this or here, I'm saying if these two things are true, or if the age is 30, come in here. So if I change this condition on the 30, right? So now it's not going to match this. Now we see that I don't know the ale. I don't know ale. Why don't I know ale? Because these two failed, and together these two failed, right? Because these guys are being joined, and sometimes it's going to be easier for you to visualize this by putting parentheses on these guys. So these two are being evaluated together, and if you need to put them on the same line, go ahead and do that. So this has, both of these things need to be true, or this one. I hit save and I get back that I don't know, right? So it's going to fall into the else, right? This is falling into the else category. Let me output. This is the else. All right, so there's the else. So here's the ampersand and combined with the or. I can do, again, I can do as many different combinations as I like. Very important. Make sure that as you get these more and more complicated, right, you might want to put parentheses around these expressions, right? You might want to put parentheses around these expressions just to clarify what your thought process is in the code, because sometimes when you get a little bit more complicated with this, the logic that you think you're executing, not actually executing. So I have found, and obviously it's a nicer, neater thing to look at. If you put parentheses around your expressions, it will kind of be easier for you to debug this, right? So if the age is 30, so why is this one working right now? And it's working because the last name is Smith, right? And I can verify that by simply saying, changing this to, we'll go back to A-Rod. And now, why is this working? Well, the first name is not Alex. Well, this is Ale, right? So the first name is not Alex, or the last name is Smith, or the age is 31, and then this is Ale. This is Ale. This is the else. Let me clarify this a little bit better. Else statement. So there's the else statement, right? So it's a little easier to know that this is coming out of line 37. So it doesn't meet any of these requirements. And because it doesn't meet any of these requirements, it's not coming into this if statement block. Let's go back and fix it. As soon as one of these things matches, I know this Alex, right? As soon as one of the if statements matches, it's gonna fire. Now, Alex Smith does not match Alex Rodriguez, so I am going to go with the end, and I'm going to show you that now all of these three things need to be true for everything to work out and for it to fall inside of the if statement, right? So now it's the same exact person. There we go. So here's the double ampersand, the logical and if we wanted to here's the if statement. Let's put an if else statement. Else if friend dot age is less than 40, or friend one dot last name dot starts with R. We're going to console log a statement that simply says in ls statement. All right. So because this matches completely, right? Even though the first condition on the else if block would qualify this, because we fall into here, because we match all three, we match this one, we match this one, we match this condition. Because we match those conditions, we execute the log statement on line 33, and therefore we never evaluate the else if in the else. However, if I make one of these wrong, right, by simply saying that it's actually not Alex, it's just this Ale person, then we get into this else if statement. If the age is less than 40, boom. If the age is less than 40, the age is 31. So what does that mean? It means that I don't even bother checking to see if it starts with R. That means I'm going to come in here. Okay. So it comes into the else if block, and this is in the else statement right here on line 37, line 37. So be aware of that, how these things behave, because sometimes you might be looking for this to execute, But what you don't realize is that one of the conditions on top of it, if it meets it under the if, else if pattern, it will not evaluate the other else if or else statements at all. So that's how to use the ampersand and the double pipe, the or. Again, you can chain as many of these as you like inside of your if statements. These are going to get really handy when you get into React. They're going to get really handy. Actually, you're going to start using them a lot more when you get into writing more functions and everything, and writing more complex loops. So this is going to conclude the simple video on the ampersands, the logical ors, and the logical and.